Hello, 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 and welcome to the 58th episode of Retrotopia. Today we're feeling tiny, we're feeling toony, and we're feeling altogether loony because today we are covering Tiny Toon Adventures Buster Busts Loose for the Super Nintendo. A fun little action platformer game developed by Konami back in the day, and I was quite surprised to see this come up on the docket. I know we discussed it, we have our little meetings and we discuss what games are coming up. I was fairly insensible at the last Retrotopia meeting for reasons I won't get into here. And I have some fond memories of this game from my childhood. We'll obviously get into it on the game chat, which is something we have yet to record, because once again, we are down to the wire, and the game chat is happening approximately 20 minutes from now, so I better get a shift on. Before we get into the game chat, of course, we have to go through our plugs. And of course, we have our socials. We have Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, X, YouTube, Discord, all of that good stuff, which you can find at linktree/Retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia. Come follow, like, share, tell your friends, get involved, talk to us. Come in the Discord. Let us know what you think. Join some like-minded individuals as we talk about just about everything. Anything you can think of, within reason. We're probably talking about it, and we'd love to have you join the party. Also, at Linktree, you can find our Patreon. Yes, it's free to join, and you can listen to all of our Retrotopia episodes in the same place, as well as getting episodes early. You can listen to our Quick Play mini review series. You can listen to our RetroBytes monthly discussion show. And we also have a $2 hero tier, which will get you all of the above, as well as the ability to pick a quick play episode, a game for a certain host of your choice, and we will review the game for you. And of course, you also get a shout out on the show. And we have 2 shout outs today. So, huge thanks to Radmac and Kalin of the House of Beagle. Guys, thank you so much for your support. It means the world to us. And welcome aboard. Hope you enjoy. Another perk of the Patreon, of course, is you get to comment on episodes. And, well, we have one such section coming up. And I have a riddle for you. What has 9 bits and is culturally elegant? Any takers? It is, of course, our 9-bit banter box. Alright, let's see what we got here. We have, first up on the box is Blaine the Hoagie Man. Excuse me, not going to edit that out. Blaine the Hoagie Man says, let's say one morning while having crumpets and tea, you decided to stick your finger in your bum. Then the next day you decided to stick your finger in your mate's bum. Now after all of that, rank the 6 Jurassic Park movies from worst to best, please. Not where I expected that comment to go. Actually, I had no idea where I expected that comment to go. A lot of fingers and a lot of bums. I'm not here to kink shame, Blaine. You do you. As for the Jurassic Park I love the Jurassic Park movies. Most of them. Well, the ones that... well, let's just get into ranking them. I mean, I think it comes as no surprise that the top number 1 greatest Jurassic Park movie of all time is... Jurassic World. No, it's Jurassic Park, of course. The original, the best. I remember seeing that film in the cinema as a kid, and that T-Rex roar just shook me right through. Spectacular film. Great book as well. So Jurassic Park, clear number 1. After that, I would say Jurassic Park 2, because I admittedly have a Jeff Goldblum bias. I love that guy. I think he's fantastic, and it's a pretty good film. New concept, and interesting how they brought him back for the books. If you know, you know. Some ridiculous parts, obviously, never going to be as good as the first one, but there we go. After that, I don't know. I think I'm probably going to say Jurassic World, because the new Jurassic World films are sort of a case of diminishing returns as far as I can tell. But the first one was pretty good, and I don't know what it is with this trend of bringing back beloved franchises and then just basically remaking the first film. I mean, they did it with Star Wars as well, and again, like Force Awakens was a fun movie, but it was basically just A New Hope again, and I feel like Jurassic World is just a Wish.com Jurassic Park. But anyway, after that it's Jurassic Park 3. Again, not a terrible film, but just a bit too silly for my liking. And after that it all just gets a bit hazy. I suppose there's I'm probably forgetting something. What was the second Jurassic World film? I saw it, and was it Dominion or something like that, or Fallen Kingdom? It was one of the two. The second one with Chris Pratt. I mean, it was fine. It was okay. I don't remember much about it. It was fairly forgettable. And I haven't actually seen the, I guess, latest one. It's kind of sad, really, because I don't really. I'll see it eventually, but I feel no compulsion to go and see it. So I suppose by default it is in dead last. So there we go. Thank you, Blaine. Moving on. Guy who does things. Hello, Alan. Let's play a game. Hypothetically, if you were to be convicted of a felony and sentenced to be sent to the Australian penal colony, 1. What would your crime be? And 2. How long would it take for you to stop giggling every time someone said penal? I'll answer your first question first. What would my crime be? I don't know. Probably just being a terrible Brit. I'm not a big fan of tea. I mean, I'll drink tea, but I'm a coffee guy personally, so tea, not my favourite, and I think that in itself is probably enough to get me shipped off. And what else? I'm not a football fan per se, and I know that's kind of our big thing, or soccer as you guys call it. So yeah, just being an all-round terrible Brit. Or I suppose I could steal the crown jewels and eat them. That would be fairly memorable, wouldn't it? And how long would it take for you to stop giggling every time someone said penal? I'm never going to stop giggling whenever somebody says penal. In fact, I'm going to giggle so much at it that I will be inevitably shipped off to wherever the Australian government ships their convicts off to, just to get rid of me, because I'll be so annoying. Penal. Oh, good stuff. Okay, and that does it for the 9-bit banter box. Thank you very much for writing in, guys. Some interesting questions this time round. Enjoyed it. Very good. So where does that leave us in the order of things? I guess it's time to talk about what I've been up to, what I've been playing, what I've been doing. Sort of in the full swing of the Christmas season at the moment, if I'm honest. We have been to see the big man a couple of times now. We've been to Santa's Grotto with our daughter, and don't worry, I put in a good word for all of you. You're all going to get what you want for Christmas, and you can thank me later. Went to see. So one of them was in this fairly old house somewhere where I live, and we went from room to room, and they had activities and what have you before you went literally through a wardrobe into a winter wonderland, which I thought was a nice touch. And there he was, shook his hand, said hello, all of that good stuff. And the second time we saw him, we were at an owlery. He was just chilling out in the corner in his sleigh. Obviously same Santa, he gets around, you know what he's like. So yeah, lots of fun. Other than that, just weathering through this god-awful winter weather. It's absolutely atrocious here at the minute. I just had a rather lovely delayed bus journey home from work and got soaking wet, which was not much fun, as you can imagine. As for what I've been playing, I'm in a weird sort of zone at the moment where Christmas is coming. I'm almost certain there'll be games on the horizon, so I'm not looking to start up anything big. Do you know what I mean? Do any of you get that? You're just sort of treading water until the Christmas goodies come along. So God, I'm still playing Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom at the moment. Really enjoying that. Very cute, very fun, very vibrant game. I'm sure we'll have more to say on that down the line. And God, I managed to, thanks to someone who will remain nameless, finally figure out how to play a little game called Pepsi Man. You know who you are, you son of a bitch. And I've played a little bit. I've dabbled. I need to play more before I give you my thoughts, perhaps for an upcoming whatever it is we do. You know, the little show. Quick play. That's the one. I know what I'm doing. Um, Other than that, just plugging away still at Harvest Moon when I've got a spare couple of minutes, and just thinking about what I can fit in quickly before the big man comes along and delivers all of my shiny new games. So, yeah, that's it. That'll do. And that leads us directly into this fucking thing. We're tiny, we're toony, we're here to tell the story of Buster Bust Loose and his side-scrolling glory. It's wild and it's wacky, developed by Konami for Super Nintendo in 1994. Buster Bunny's running fast, he's got to leap and dash, dodging traps and baddies, making every moment flash. Montana Max is greedy, Elmira's in on the chase, and Dizzy Devil spinning round, stuffing his face. Back in the old Wild West, he'll face a bandit showdown, a haunted old mansion where ghosts float all around. Football field battles and sci-fi scenes up in space, Buster's hopping all around to save the toony place. With Lucky Duck and Hampton and Furball sneaking through, they'll help a hero bunny as he fights the wacky crew. Each level is a challenge and every boss oh so tough, but Buster's busting loose because he's got the stuff. So come on and join us as we begin the game chat. Here at Retrotopia we're ready to begin. We'll play it, we'll rate it, and hopefully not hate it. This video game podcast with three elderly men, Alan, Sam, and Brian here, and we're all set to bust. Will Sam receive a horny bonk? Will Brian end up lost? How long is this song? Cause I'm running out of lyrics. Just hurry up and end so we can start the show. It really is about time that we start the show. And there is your intro. Oh, I have no shame, and I am never doing that again. So I hope you enjoyed it. Special one-off musical gentleman's interlude. Now, on to the game chat. Well, I mean, this is obviously quite a niche game. We didn't get any listener comments for it, so maybe I'm the only one who remembers this one. Disappointing, guys. With a title like Buster Busts Loose, I thought you guys would have a field day with it, but never mind. Let's just get into the game chat. So, well, grab a hold of your carrots and get ready to roll camera, because we are delving into Tiny Toon Adventures Buster Busts Loose, released on... I actually have it this time. Do I? No, I don't, because I'm not very good at this. There we are. Released on the Super Nintendo in North America on February 1993 and June 24th, 1993. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoy the show.
Alright, welcome to another episode of Retrotopia. I'm here with Alan and Sam, and this week we are talking about one of our classic favorite cartoons from our childhood called Tiny Toons. But they were playing the game on the Super Nintendo called Tiny Toons Adventures Buster Busts Loose, and this one was brought... I think, Sam, you're the one who brought this one up, weren't you?
I don't remember. I think it's been sitting on the list for a long time, and we just decided to put it in there. I never played this as a kid. Did either of you?
No.
Yep.
You did as a kid?
Of course,
I
Alan
sure did. I sure did. This is a game that we rented a few times back when video game rentals were a thing.
Oh my God! In the before time.
In the before time, in the depths of time, in the 90s. Yeah. We played this a few. Never got anywhere with it, but enjoyed the bright colours and the tunes and all of that good stuff. And I have no idea how this ended up on our docket.
We have a list of like, I don't know, a ton of shorter to play games, and I know we had our staff meeting the one day and we sat down and we just kind of...
I was going to ask, did this come up at the staff meeting that I was
the staff meeting that you
don't
remember?
Oh, yeah, you were so drunk. All right, before we get into the game, what's your history with the TV show? Like, for myself, I watched it pretty much every time it was on. It was just one of those shows that always happened to be on at the right time to catch, and I loved it, to be honest. Yeah, it was just fun.
This was on that, I think at the time it was Fox Kids, wasn't it? Or was it WB then? Because it was on that Fox Kids block with like Animaniacs, fucking Animaniacs. This show, Freakazoid, Batman, like, I mean, they were
shows.
firing on all cylinders at the time. And like, even like, it's like the peak 90s, you know, cartoon afternoon, Saturday morning cartoon, licensed game, you know, that kind of thing. It's pure nostalgia, even though I never played this as a kid.
No, that absolutely makes sense.
It has been a long, long time since I had the Freakazoid theme song stuck in my head.
You're welcome.
You just broke the streak.
That's
you just broke the streak. It is a banger, and I've not thought about that series. Freaky you.
You know what? I never watched Freakazoid. I never got into it.
It's so good.
Oh, it was kind of like The Mask, I guess. Sort of thing,
but it was like
just that
quality, like to the quality animation of the caliber of like Batman the Animated Series, but then like goofy as hell.
Just goofy.
I don't know. It just never caught my attention. Maybe there was something else on at the same time slot that, you know, was better than that in my opinion. So I can't remember that far back.
VR Troopers.
I didn't.
Oh my god. Oh,
there it is.
Oh my god, you just made me have like a flashback moment. Does anybody here remember a show called Captain Power where you could buy the gun and then you shoot at the TV and it would register the, like, you killing the bad guys?
No.
Oh my god.
That sounds awesome.
Was that only Canada?
I must have been.
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
Isn't there some sort of weird like Canada only cable box thing that had some games on it?
Pretty sure we don't have anything like that. It sounds awesome, but we don't.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That we're allowed to tell outsiders.
Right. Yeah.
It's a maple syrup secret.
Yeah. All right. I'm going straight off topic here for a minute. It's called Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future. It was a 1987 sci-fi series. Had one season, and you could literally buy a toy that would shoot at the screen, like guns, obviously. It's not like you're throwing airplanes at your TV, but the whole point of it was just to, interact with the kids. And it was the way their costumes had this part that lit up. That's what the gun registered.
Shut up. That sounds amazing.
Oh, it was. 80s cartoons. 80s cartoons hit harder.
Yeah, but that's so advanced for an 80s cartoon. That's amazing. Tiny Toon Adventures I watched, but, I missed out on this fucking thing.
Oh, you missed out on so much. I mean, my God, me and my brother, like, we were tacticians when it came to, determining what to watch in what order. And then we got a VCR and, like, all bets were off. And now we could record something while watching something else. Oh, so good. I miss those days because I didn't have bills back then. All right, back on to Tiny Toons.
Well, the thing is, like, we can go off topic because, I mean, this game is what, like a 45-minute long game.
For you, like, it's a couple of days for me.
Yeah, let's say it's easier than Animaniacs because it's an actual functional game. But it's still got some teeth to it. Like the first few levels are not so bad, but
no.
I didn't, full disclosure, I didn't finish it, but watching playthrough and stuff, there's some challenging shit in the back half of this game.
Oh god.
Definitely beatable with repetition though, because
anytime you have to sprint to get away from something, like in the train level when you have to sprint over the tunnel, that's a repetitive part for me. I had to play those a couple of times.
Yeah, that train. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say
All right,
Carry on.
somebody take the talking baton and talk.
The talking stick.
Sam, you have the stick.
I have the stick. Well, I was playing it earlier this week, and the train level did it's very like repetitive or just kind of cut and dry. Like these are the steps. You know, if you can memorize what happens when in the levels, you're fine. But just like one lapse in attention, and there were a couple parts that I was just dying on over and over, or I'd play it again and die on a stupid part that I was fine with before.
Definitely. It's very much a reaction-based game at times, isn't it? It's just like there's a lot here that's just like it encourages you to move quickly, but then just throws a whole bunch of shit in your way that you have to react to at literally a split second's notice. And,
Sonic.
I mean, it's a Konami game. They do what they do. I mean, and it's certainly a softer Konami game than like your Castlevanias or what have you. But
right,
there's some of the DNA definitely in this game.
Yeah, I think it looks like Animaniacs, but plays better. Let's say that.
For sure.
Konami code. Okay, Konami code is a cheat code that can be used in Tiny Toon Adventures Wacky Sports. Okay, obviously, Google has got a new AI thing that's just not working.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't always give you the information that you want. But so the Konami code, I didn't try. Well, I don't know if the Konami code works in this game.
No, that's what I'm looking up now while you guys were talking, and I don't see it working for this game.
It kind of seems like it doesn't.
I can't imagine what it would change if it did.
Oh, usually it just gives you a bunch of continues or lives or something.
There are codes. There are codes in this game. You just have to. It's like picture based, where it's like the characters, and if you enter them in the right order, it like basically unlocks. You can jump to any of the levels.
Enter the codes, or you enter the characters in the right order. Wink.
The characters, yeah. Oh, okay. That's some Rule 34 stuff that we don't.
Oh, I did that on another podcast. I'm not going.
Yeah, I know you did. Don't do that here. Or you can, I guess. Whatever.
Okay,
You really want to look up Tiny Toon Adventures on that?
I'm just so curious. Yeah. Rule 34 Tiny Toon Adventures.
Oh my God, you're doing it.
Oh my God, no.
Oh no. Some of these people are terrible artists, though.
That's what you're worried about?
Well, some of them Brian, don't even look. All right, I'm going to call it now.
This is why you get left inside of castles, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say Buster Bunny's packing, even though he's not wearing pants, right?
No,
I don't think he is.
No, he's not. He wears a red shirt. I'm looking at a picture of him right now, not the Rule 34 picture.
Yeah, because then he wouldn't even be wearing the shirt.
Fuck, I've painted my eyes again. Fuck, I don't know. Like, I've never been a Rule 34 person, but just the times I've searched, like, mind blown when people are like, oh my God, this is something I should draw a dick on. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I wonder. Oh, no.
And it's like the female character, right? Like
Ford truck Rule 34. Oh, yeah. Look at that. They have trucks. Yeah, there's two trucks having sex. Rule 34. I guess Rule 35 that I learned about on Retro Hangover is very true.
What was Rule 35?
If there's no porn, it'll be made, or something along those lines.
Oh, just kind of the batting cleanup for Rule 34.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh God. All right, let's get on to the game. We're about 10 minutes like right off topic talking about old TV shows and improper use of licensed material.
Very improper.
Well, this I think is a very, very good use of licensed material.
Yes,
there's our segue.
Swish.
Alan, what did you play it on? Because it's out on the Super Nintendo and the Genesis.
Oh, I played it on the... Oh, I didn't know it was on the Mega Drive. I played it on the Super Nintendo, which is where I remember playing it as a kid. I picked this up ages ago because it was just so nostalgic for me. And
let me draw that statement back. Sorry, the thing I was looking at was about a list of Tiny Toon games. It's only on Super Nintendo.
Oh,
it is only on Super Nintendo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Genesis got a different
that makes
one,
sense.
Which is as was customary at the time.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, bought it for the collection a ways back, and then sort of had a quick go. Didn't get very far with it, and then I was just like, right, well, this time I'm actually going to sit down and beat this fucking game. And I gotta say, I had a blast doing it. I really, really enjoyed this game.
I don't hate this game. I'm going to say that pretty early into the podcast. Not my favorite for sure, and definitely I'm fair weather on Konami games. I mean, Turtles 4, Turtles in Time, best game I've ever played of that nature. This game or Castlevania, nah, this game kind of in between.
It's just crazy to me that like this is the studio that makes like, wait, is Metal Gear Konami? Yeah. So it's like Metal Gear, Silent Hill, fucking Castlevania, and then it's like, and then Buster Bust Loose.
But this is what happens in the 90s, man. Like, studios are making games left, right, and center, and everybody's all like, this is awesome. And then all of a sudden now everybody's like streamlined into one style of game and sequel after sequel after sequel.
Yeah. It's the new moneymaker, right? Like, you know, you're not going to, and the funny thing is like, they just don't make them like this anymore, where it's a game that's geared towards children basically, because those are the core demographic fans of a show like this. But then it's difficult enough that most kids are probably not going to beat it, which is interesting, like we talked about with Animaniacs and Lion King, and the Aladdin game is pretty hard, like stuff like that. Like, they don't make the games tough anymore. Like, I think I've said this before, where like, can you imagine if they made the Bluey game just like viciously difficult?
Yeah.
That would be.
I agree.
But we're at the 90s; they totally would.
Oh yeah, they would absolutely. Well, Bluey would have been just Souls-like.
Yeah, Bluey Souls,
definitely. But again, it goes back to what I said earlier about just on a straight run through this, it's probably only about 45 minutes to an hour long. So it's just like, if I'd have rented that back in the 90s when I did and just beaten it the first time around, what's the point of doing that again? It's. I don't think this game is certainly not a Lion King or anything like that. It has its tricky moments, but it's just so fucking charming.
Oh, it is very charming. Very good use of the color palette as well to kind of bring the cartoony feel out of it. Graphically, this game is beautiful. I'm not going to say it's the best looking game out there, but I have no complaints about how it looks.
Yeah, I thought the screens, like I don't know what you would call them, like the ones that introduce each level, they're like little interstitial scenes where Babs is talking to you, and you've got the film kind of reel in the background. That looks really good and sharp. And I think they did something similar in Animaniacs. Unfortunately, really also looked good like this. I'm gonna keep referring back to that game because it's the same developer and the same era, and they look very similar. And actually, like, I don't know if we're ready to talk about gameplay, but like gameplay wise, they're also somewhat similar, because I think I remember saying that the hitboxes and Animaniacs were fucked, and they are in this game too a bit, but it almost works more to your favor, whereas in Animaniacs it was terrible.
Let's stay on graphics for a minute, because we're just shoehorning ourselves into like the next subject, and we'll be done before we know it, boys.
I'm gonna put a pin in that. We
gotta come back to the hitbox.
Yeah.
But I got some stuff to say about gameplay too. That's why I'm trying to keep it happy at the beginning.
Oh God! All right. Fair enough.
But let's go back. Compared to, I don't know, games like Animaniacs of its time and stuff like that, what do you think of the graphics of this game? What do you think of let's go graphics and sound. Let's get two of these out of the way.
I mean, like this, it looks like a cartoon. It's. I always remember this game looking spectacular, and even now playing it again, I'm just like, this hasn't aged. It's not dated. I mean, this is going to sound like a bit of a backhanded compliment, but this looks like a Mega Drive game. And boy, but I know what that
Nintendo.
sounds like.
Yeah.
I know what that sounds like, but for me, like the Mega Drive has always had the better color palette. It always has the slightly better looking games, not always, and it's probably my Sega bias coming through. But this game just pops. Like the sprites
But
are really nice and big and detailed. Everything you can see what everything is, no question.
it's how they use the color palette that makes it so good looking. There's not a lot of shadows placed all over the characters to kind of make them realistic. They really lean into that cartoony look.
Mm,
Some games I find that they take the pixels or the pixel art and they try to shade it to give that realistic look to the character,
Mhm.
outline features on them. But this game doesn't do that at all. It just keeps the characters looking just like they're hand drawn for the cartoon. The backgrounds are vibrant. They don't blend a lot of colors in. Very smart use of everything. So that's
yeah.
like no notes on the graphics and probably my
Yeah.
favorite part of the game.
Yeah, so many of these games of this time, like, yeah, I mean, we already mentioned Animaniacs and Batman and Robin alongside this one. It's like kind of interesting how, like WB made the cartoon and then Konami took the license and made the game for the Super Nintendo, and all three of those games look excellent. Like you're actually just watching the cartoon or you're just
Yeah.
playing or interacting with the cartoon on your console. They all look great like that. This is not the Batman and Robin that I reviewed for the quick play. That was the Genesis one, which is a different one.
Yeah. The music though, reason I wanted to bring that up early is because I just had a thought I don't want to forget. There was a point you're in. What's the level? You're in not the university, Spook Mansion, and the music inside of Spook Mansion is like right at the same level I would hear out of like a Final Fantasy game. And honestly, it kind of gave me the Final Fantasy flashback when I started listening to it.
Yeah, that's a
That's
great level as well.
that's crazy.
Like the music is exactly what you would expect from a game that's based on an animated series, because
Yeah,
it has to conjure up that nostalgia for, well, I suppose back then it wasn't nostalgia, it was just calling back to something that was out at the same time. But it had to be sort of instantly recognizable to people who loved the TV show, and I think they did a really good job there of sort of making that pop as well. So like again, it's all geared towards making you feel like you're playing an episode or several episodes even of the TV show, and it sounds amazing.
yeah, no, it's again, Konami is one of those companies back in the Super Nintendo days that just kept putting out a banger of soundtrack after banger of soundtrack. It's
Oh
something they
god,
don't
yeah.
do wrong. Them and Konami and Square, obviously.
Mm.
Yeah,
Sam
it's just
played
like
it on mute.
what? Oh, I didn't play it on
It's like
mute,
you
but
haven't
yeah,
jumped
like,
in yet. I'm just like, we must have
no,
played it on
I
mute.
just well, I mean, the music was fine. It's just like for these types of games, to me, it's like what's the 8 or 16-bit rendition of the like the theme song gonna sound like, or just music that's kind of based on the show. It
See,
didn't grab me, but yeah, I mean,
I
I had the sound on for a bit, and then I just kind of turned it down because I
I
thought it was annoying.
I listened to the songs that weren't from the show. Like I said, Spooky Mansion there.
Mm.
I think by the time I got to Spooky Mansion, I didn't have the sound on anymore, so I probably should have had it on.
The sound was so off. You had the speakers from the TV sitting beside you on the couch completely ripped out.
Right.
It's like,
Well,
fucking mute.
Well, they lost me at like the first level, right, is just like the Animaniacs theme, and then
Yeah.
the second level is just a Western version of the Animaniacs theme. So it's like, okay, so this is going to be a spooky version of the Animaniacs theme. I think I got it.
I mean,
So maybe I
like
missed out on some music.
I think so. I think maybe I don't know. Like the talking about the digitized version of the theme tune, like I think they did an incredible job with that, and I've just had to listen to it several fucking times, so I can speak to that. Really good job on that. Even though I hated, and we'll get into the levels in a bit more detail, even though I hated the football level,
Oh,
I thought
really?
the music there was, yeah,
That
we'll
looks
get
pretty
into it when
terrible.
we
Man,
talk about the
I think we're
levels.
about to disagree.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I'm gonna crush you, Brian. No, like the music for that was spot on. It had that sort of I don't know what you call like your football music, like your fight music or whatever you call
Yeah,
it, and it just
it's like
that really suited. I think everything just really suited the level that it was in.
Now, for you
Good job.
Brits that are listening to us, he means football, the American sport, not football, the sport played in the rest of the world.
That's right. I mean American football, not that soccer you guys play.
I mean, sitting in the parking lot there with my friggin' pickup truck lifted to all high heavens with my barbecue out back, drinking my Bud Light there, and having myself a dog before spending $600 to go sit in the game and not pay attention.
Yep. Yes, sir,
uh,
because we call it football because we's Americans.
that's accurate.
Yeah, I'd say I shouldn't be like
I'll
dumping
sign
on
off
that
on this.
because yeah, we have the Canadian Football League up here, which is just like harder American football.
Wait, why is it
And I
harder?
can't
One less
I can't
down
do
and
a
10 more
Canadian accent.
yards.
Is it really? That's got to be
Yeah.
boring. What are you thinking?
Well, it would fucking suck in this game. Let me
Here, you
tell
know what
you,
would be
because
awesome is if we gave the team one less chance to move the ball. Why?
Because it makes the game harder. Let's see. I saw a stat once that said in an NFL game, the average amount of time the ball is actually in play is 12 minutes for the entire game. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it's a
isn't that
bunch of
crazy?
men walking around and talking to each other, which seems a little sissy to me.
I mean, listen, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about American football. Aside from the fact, go Packers.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
There we go.
there you go. And maybe when we get there, you can explain a few of the finer points of the level to me. But we're talking about music at the moment.
Well,
We'll
the
No,
get
level
there.
doesn't
I
the
think
level doesn't
we're
make sense.
yeah, I think we're good with the music. I want to get into this gameplay now. Let's start shitting on this game a little bit.
Here we go.
First dispute.
All right, I'm gonna call it right now. I'm gonna say the floaty little fucking kick that Buster Bunny does there to beat up enemies. I friggin' hate.
It's very hard to land. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Or
does
at
this.
first it is.
Yeah, he does this like
Get used to it.
floaty kick there that you're invulnerable while you're doing it, and it kills the enemies. And that's how you have to beat some of the bosses and tougher enemies. But it's just this way he kicks his feet out, and then he does this like flip, but it's so slow, and it's like he's a feather caught in a breeze.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
very
and
slow.
this is where we're going to come back to the point that Sam made earlier on, in so much as this game, surprisingly for a Konami game, is incredibly forgiving with the hitbox. Because
Hmm.
yeah, I can hear the argument that it's a very floaty attack, but if the enemy comes anywhere near you while you're at any point of that attack animation, you're gonna kill it.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
very difficult to get hit.
Well, you're
there's
invulnerable the
yeah.
entire time you're doing it, and if like the tip of his tail hits the enemy, it's going to kill the enemy. It's just I don't know. I
You can
just
basically yeah.
found it.
You basically spam that kick attack and it gets you through some spots that are otherwise
Yeah.
pretty difficult. Like there's a spot in the western level where there's like horses that can kick you in the air or donkeys or whatever, and there's like birds swooping down, and if you're just trying to run and jump through that, like platform through it, it's kind of tough. But what I would do is just like continuously kick all the way across it, and it was
Yeah.
fine. And there's a boss where it's like like a Frankenstein's monster type thing in like the creepy castle, and he throws light bulbs and then bolts at you, and the bolts are the ones that you have to shoot back at the machine to destroy it. It's like all you have to do is just make sure that you're constantly kicking, and you either kick the
Yeah.
monster or you kick the bolts back.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
definitely.
that's half the problem. I get it's a game for kids, but adults are playing it now. Time to toughen it up just a little.
Yeah, come on. You didn't make this for you didn't this game is 30 years old. It's like they didn't think about us 30 years in the future playing this game. Come
Yeah,
on.
what assholes.
How
Yeah.
dare they?
Uh,
Somebody get Konami on the phone.
What about you there, Alan? What do you think of the? Well, now I guess now's a good time for you to poo-poo on the football level.
Yeah, go
Well,
for it.
before I do, like, I'm just going to address what you just said. Now,
No,
I
no,
can hear
I'm
the argument.
completely right.
No. I can hear the listen, and like the generic enemies are not going to kill you in this game. What's going to kill you in this game is the platforming and the split second jumps that you
Oh,
have to
like the
make in order
fucking
to.
nets on the train?
Oh, don't even with that, yeah, because they just come out of nowhere and just literally just yank you off the train. It's just like, well, fuck me, I guess. I never saw that coming.
No,
And
there's no warning the first time it happens, so you're immediately dead the first time because you're waiting for something, unless you're like super reactive because it's not a lot of time. You have like half a second to jump.
no,
Those nets
and
caught me
I
a
am
lot.
not.
There was a
I am
lot
nearly
of
40 years old and I do not react that fast anymore.
Ah,
right, and it's
Jesus
like
Christ.
the nets were something that it was, again, everything is just cut and dry. Like you basically you memorize, like, that there's 4 nets coming on this train or whatever. You just jump over them and it's fine. It's very formulaic. So there's stuff that like the game throws at you where like you get to a point and then something crazy happens. You're like, well, wait, what the fuck? What is that now? Like, now there's nets that can catch me or what the hell? And it's like, no, that's just something that's there. And then now and so then now you can kind of just
Yeah,
memorize your way around it.
You get so many lives to do this with. And the other one, the dashing. I like the dashing. The dash and jump sometimes was a little bit too unannounced. Like you're going so fast, you're actually running close to the beginning of the screen or scrolling fast enough. I'm not sure which it is. And then all of a sudden you have to jump a gap. And like the only thing I like about that is if you don't clear the gap, he runs up the wall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is a bit of a blessing and a curse because
Yeah.
sometimes it's just like, oh, it is cool, but sometimes I found myself stuck to the wall and just like, just fucking jump off.
Well,
Like,
there's that later level that has the pillars because you like climb into the sky, and don't get me started on how crappy that level was. You climb into the sky, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got to get out of here, and you go through a magical door that's floating, and then all of a sudden you have to run up these pillars, and the whole time you're sprinting, and there's these little statues of the dodo that replenish your dash because you have a bar for your dash that goes down fairly quickly unless you hit these dodo statues to replenish it. And if you miss one of them in this level, which is honestly quite hard to do, or you miss a jump, you're dead instantly. Like, it's an auto-scrolling level.
Yeah.
Which is a
And
whole other conversation.
That
some of the
particular
auto-scrolling
level
was not coordinated correctly, or just like went too slow, or was just a little off. You know what I mean? Some of those,
yeah, because
there were
like,
a couple auto scrolls.
am I the only one who thinks like I can't think of another game that auto scrolls that you can't just stand still and the screen will drag you? I mean, is it just me? Like, because in this game, if you stand still, the screen will just move past you and you'll die. And I
Yeah.
can't.
Because Mario
Like,
Brothers on auto-scrolling, like Super Mario World, it drags you down the pit of death if you just stand
yeah,
still.
that's right, but it drags you. That's the point, and it's just like, oh, okay, so I can't just fucking hang around and see what's coming up. It's just like, no, because if you stand still for too long, we'll kill you anyway. So take that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sky level was usually, well, when I've played it as an adult, that's usually as far as I'd ever get. And I think if you can crack that one, you're pretty good for the rest of the game.
Well, it's just so... It kind of destroys itself in its own pacing because most of these levels are fairly well paced, like for how fast you get through them. But this one, you're at the mercy of the pig flying an airplane, dropping bubbles behind him, and then you have to jump up the bubbles until you get to the next screen. And everything from that point, it's slow scroll plus jumping on balloons or jumping on a blimp or a pinball machine. It's just such a... I'm gonna just say it's a boring level.
Yeah, that pinball machine
Yeah.
sucks. I don't tend to enjoy unless it's Sonic. Sonic's pinball
I was about to say
aside.
It's like I don't enjoy games with pinball mechanics. Sonic.
Yeah. Well, Sonic makes sense because he turns into a ball. Like Buster does not turn into a ball. You're basically like trying to continue to dash up the side of the wall, so that you don't fall. and then maybe I don't know. That just looked like something I didn't get to it, but I watched the playthrough. Like that looked like something that I would struggle with for sure.
No, it was straight up bullshit.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I'm
Not
straight up not having a good time, man.
I'm just like that sky level starts out all right, but towards the end of it does get frustrating. It's just like, come on, like I get it, we're in the sky, just end, please.
All to get to a magic door where there's a book inside of it, or sorry, a treasure chest with a book inside of it. Then it's like, uh-oh, everything's collapsing. Well, jump out of the sky, you dumbass. No, I'm going to go in this door, then climb higher, and somehow that's how I get out of it. God.
Cartoon logic.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Let's talk about this fucking football level.
Yeah. Lay
Go
it on us.
This level is such a fucking life drain. And you could be doing fairly good up until this point, like, because this game's pretty generous with the extra lives, and we'll talk about the bonus stages and what have you. But this is like running into a literal brick wall. This level, the pacing just grinds to a halt, and basically what you have to do now. I don't know American football terminology, stuff like that, but you have to run across the field with the ball, dodging seemingly random fucking enemies from the opposing team who may jump, dive, just come straight at you, and there's no clear sort of way to guess where they're going to go. And you might get 4 or 5 feet before you crash into something and then have to start again. And what the fuck is a down while we're at it?
Oh, it's like when you snap the ball. It's like one of your tries to get 10 yards and a first down. So they call them downs. Yeah.
So you have to. Is that why it kept resetting? Because I made it 10 yards.
Yeah, you make it 10 yards,
Yes.
It goes back to first down, and if you can't make 10 yards on your fourth down, the ball gets turned over to the other team.
I never thought of this from the perspective of someone who doesn't understand the rules of football.
I don't think I've ever met anybody who doesn't understand football before.
Well,
no, it's like not.
you.
This is not a dig at you, Alan. It's just like
No.
I don't. How often have I talked to people outside of Canada and the United States in my life? It's never occurred to me, especially since I don't walk up to everybody I meet and go, "Hey, football."
No, it's like that. Maybe it is a little bit, but like your frustration isn't that you have to like dodge these like characters that are coming at you, like enemies that are coming at you. It's that like you don't understand what it is. Or like what you need to get to.
It's both, but yeah, it's just like I had no idea. It just seemed completely arbitrary. It's just like sometimes I had 4 tries to like get anywhere, and then after that it was just like, well, I guess you lose a life. And then sometimes it was just like, oh well, good for you, try again. And it's like, what, why, how, what's I'm done.
No, if you make it 10 yards, did you? I wasn't paying attention to my lives. Did I lose lives if I got tackled after 10 yards?
Well, it's not that you get tackled, but if you have like...
Well, you bump into somebody and it resets, right?
Yeah, but if you get like 4 of those downs or whatever, then like, I guess, and you don't make 10 yards, so it resets, then yeah, you lose a life and start again.
That's kind of a clever level, though, if you think about it.
It is.
I guess.
Well, I can see
thousands
thousands
built a shitty side-scrolling football game into the game.
Yeah, I can see thousands or millions of European kids there going, bloody fuck, what's this? Because they just absolutely don't understand the rules. It's like, why am I running straight down a field? Where's my football, and why is he picking up the football? That's illegal. No hands in football.
Why is he using his hands? That's handball, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why the fuck are these cunts running into me? That's a foul.
I love when you go Michael Caine on us.
Oh, well, my name is Michael Caine, and I do not understand American football.
That's good.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. Any other, like...
But yeah.
Do you have anything else to say about it?
I just guess, I like that it's... if I look at it objectively, it's a very creative and interesting level to have thrown in there, just to mix up the formula. And I guess if you like and get American football, then it's probably a nice little treat to just suddenly be playing a sports game in the middle of this platformer. So I've got to give them props for that. But God, is it just a slog to get to that end zone?
Like, don't get me wrong, like, looking at this from a budding game developer view, I could see a mobile game made out of the football level.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
actually, like like what is that Mario Run or whatever? Those like games where you're just kind of perpetually moving forward and have
Yeah,
to like
and
tap to jump.
Flappy Birds, but with football.
It's like a Flappy Bird
Yeah,
football.
pretty much. All right, you've heard it here first. I am claiming that idea. So if it ever comes out, basically
Patent
we'll
pending.
use the time date of what's it today? 5th of December at
Yeah, we call it
4:41
dibs.
p.m. Be Retrotopia's
dibs.
first game, and it's going to pay for our Christmas party.
Hell yeah.
And I am never going to play it.
It'll have this rules section for you. Football for Brits.
I'll just put me somewhere in the crowd, just looking perpetually confused.
You know, I was looking at our stats today, and we actually have a good amount of people from Great Britain who listen to the show now. Like a fair amount for how many people listen to the show overall. So I think we might just about lose half of them from me saying Brits don't understand football. Go
We understand
Manchester
football.
United
We understand football.
or whomever.
I mean, there's probably a large amount of people who just like switched off the show.
Yeah,
And
oh, yeah,
there's probably just as many. There's probably just as many who are just like, oh, fuck it, Manchester United, yeah, brilliant.
Well, and
Except
once
they're all from Manchester, and I
once they
can't
can
do
explain hockey
Mancunian.
to me, NHL hockey to me, then I'll take their football serious.
Oh, that's easy. You just skate around and shoot the puck into the goal, and then punch a guy.
Shit.
Yes, in that order.
Yeah.
Sam, any level like as far as you made it that you would like to poo-poo on, or sing its praises? I guess we could be positive about this too.
I mean, it's another thought occurred to me because Rocket Knight was a Konami game too, wasn't it? Is
Yep.
this not like a Rocket Knight light almost? Because that dash mechanic is very similar to the rocket that Rocket Knight has.
Well, hold on
you
a
have
second.
to use it to-
I gotta say something here. This game is better than Rocket Knight, Joe.
Oh my god! Ouch. That is. I don't know about that, and I've only played a little bit of Rocket Knight.
Oh yeah, I'm not being sincere, but we have a back and forth going on about Rocket Knight right now.
Somebody is about to end up in Joe's basement.
Again.
Yeah, but
I was
but it
there
does
before,
kinda feel
but I
that
was there
way, doesn't it?
willingly. What's that?
What's that, Sam?
Doesn't it kind of feel that way though? Because in Rocket
there's-
Knight,
No.
you use that rocket boost to kind of like ricochet yourself up walls and over obstacles and stuff, and that's kind of what you have to do with the dash.
Well, there's
Yeah,
definitely parts of it that do feel very Rocket Knighty, but yeah, it's far enough away from it because obviously you're not using the dash to bounce up and down walls. You're just running up them.
Well, you're
No,
and
but
then
I
you're
said-
wall jumping too.
Yeah, I see what you're saying though, Sam. I mean, that's a really good comparison that I never actually thought of, because that's another game that's bright, colourful, very cartoonish, and
Well, yeah, also Konami.
with yeah, brilliant. I like that one.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, I don't know. It's not the same because it's not a rocket jetpack. You're not flying or whatever, but it is used kind of to the same effect to like get you up stuff that would otherwise be unreachable. Like there's that section where you're in like a library stack and you're moving the shelves closer together so you can kind of dash and wall jump up. Up the stacks or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I
about
didn't
the
like
mini?
the first boss. That's for sure.
What did you not like about the first boss?
It was irritating because like how many times you have to like I could have used like maybe 2 less things that you had to feed this little fucker to get it to advance. It just went on.
You know what? It went on long, but the Dizzy Devil fight, when you're on the multi-layers of conveyor belts and you walk through the wall to go up to the next layer like it's Mario Brothers, did his
Mario Brothers.
If he did his spin thing where he was bouncing all over the walls, you walk halfway into a door and stay there and he can't hit you.
Yeah, I know.
100%.
Yeah, and it was, like Sam said, it was long trying to get the fucking food in his mouth, but
right,
wasn't hard.
No, I didn't hate it. It's just like, all right, I see what I have to do. It's just maybe a bit unnecessarily long, but it's cute. Whatever, I don't mind it.
Not a boss, but kicking the stacks out of the train there, when the ones that are on fire, as the screen slowly scrolls, was what annoyed
Oh,
me.
so slow. That was
Yeah.
that's one of the things I was referring to, and I said like sometimes the auto scroll was just like
Mm.
like I could have gone and made a sandwich in the kitchen while that one was scrolling down to the final section of the train. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that-
okay, I've rounded the corner, guy.
So
I count that as a
painful.
boss. That is definitely a boss. Like the train is the boss, I reckon.
That
Yeah,
is
well,
cool. Yeah,
there's
that was cool.
Fuck, did anybody recognize the guy who was the boss from that level?
That's
Yeah, it
Mont-
was Montana,
Montana
Max.
Max.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry, yeah. Thinking of another level. But
and
actually,
then
it was something I
also-
wanted to bring up. When
Okay.
they're on the cart at the end of the level, you jump off the train
Yes.
onto that train cart.
Yeah,
You when
yeah.
the level finishes when you get to 88 miles per hour.
Yep.
That's right.
And then it
Yep.
and then it
And-
shoots you forward. Yep.
Yeah, anybody noticed a reference to Back to the Future? I don't know if
Fuck
it's
yeah.
like a direct reference, but I'm gonna believe.
No,
Oh,
it is because
yeah.
when the cart flies off screen to the right, you see like the fire tire tracks or whatever that just
Oh, I
like
might have
in
missed
Back
that.
to the Future. Yeah, it's there.
I mean-
It's pretty cool.
I mean, this game has a few like very obvious nods to like films as well, and it's like there is no way that's not purposeful.
There's the obligatory WB cartoon game tie-in Star Wars level basically in the end too.
Yep, there's definitely a bit
Animaniacs
of
did the
Star
same
Wars.
thing. Yeah, Animaniacs did the same thing.
Yeah,
See, I've not played that.
mind you, the cartoon
Go-
itself
don't.
also did a lot of these references to popular movies and TV
yeah.
shows as well. So it's on
Mm.
brand, which is kind of
We were
nice.
so I don't want to toot our like, you know, elder millennial horn or anything, but like, man, we were pretty well cultured because we may not have seen Citizen Kane, but we definitely saw or were aware of it because it was referenced in like an episode of Animaniacs or some shit.
between
Like, we knew.
between the cartoon, like Saturday morning cartoons and The Simpsons, we've seen everything from history,
We
like
know
reimagined.
we know everything. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, just those alone, I could comfortably blag my way through like most culturally elegant subjects.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's fuck. I remember my mom used to be surprised at how much I knew about stuff before I was born. Just terminology, music,
Yeah.
movies, and all
Mm.
that stuff. And I just told her it's on The Simpsons.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's all from cartoons.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Sit me in front of the TV, I'll learn about your life.
Educational programming at its finest.
Yeah. Mini games between levels. After you
Yes.
finish a level, you get spin the wheel and you do the mini games. Any particular favorites?
Some of them were a little bit trickier than others. Some were just like one was like guessing which character, and that was kind of like a rock paper scissors. Like
yeah, and
one
they
character,
weighed them.
Well, yeah, they weighed
Yep.
them basically. Yeah, and then and that's how we find out that like Babs Bunny and there's like the girl bunny and the girl duck, and like one's heavier than the other one or whatever. It's just like I thought that was an awkward one that I got. I was like, okay, so we're weighing women now, and the heavier one wins. Like,
I
what
can't
the
remember
hell?
her. Can't remember her name, but the female duck that I was like talks like this, like
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I forgot about that.
Shirley MacLaine.
Shirley MacLaine. My favorite mini game was the handball one.
I don't
And
think I got that
There's one
one.
where you had to like keep a handball volley going, like again, handball where you just like smack a rubber ball
Oh,
with your
yeah,
hand
yeah.
against the wall. You had to keep a volley going for like 15 in a row, and then you
Oh,
light
yeah,
for that.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like
It's like-
the characters would dash across the back, and you could hit them with the ball.
wasn't that
Yes.
racquetball?
No, they called it handball, but it was
Oh,
like
did they?
whatever the cat
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
I thought it was squash.
Squash. That's
Oh,
what
squash. That's what it is.
it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
Furball's
whatever.
Championship Squash. I just looked it up right
Squash.
for.
There it is. Oh, I
Alan
stand
beat me
corrected.
to it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's some sort of ball, against the wall game.
That
Balls
was
to
a
the wall.
great
That's
one.
what,
that.
that's what we
Balls to
call
the
it.
wall.
That's actually fun mini games and pretty much a lot of games. Like train of thought just died on me. Sorry, but like just the repetitive hit the ball as it goes faster is used a lot when they need a quick mini game. Like, I don't know, let's take Mario Party as an example. I'm pretty sure it's in there once or twice. It's
Or
just such
Ganon.
yeah. Oh, Ganon in Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just such a fun mechanic. It's so interesting that we do this repetitive task, and it's like, that's great.
Well, I mean, it's where it all began. It's basically Pong.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Variations
Stop
on
making
Pong.
me realize things.
Well, I'm sorry.
Well, I liked
But yeah,
how
that's a good one.
I like the mini games generally, and just how there was no real stakes, and I think they set it up so that you're pretty much guaranteed to get at least one life out of it, even if you were pretty abysmal at the mini game, either like timer wise if you played it long enough, or there's the one where Hampton has to like eat apples, and then it's like like one of those mosaic tile puzzles to like keep him on the path, and
yeah,
if you can eat as many apples as possible. Like, I couldn't figure that shit out. So
I used to have a game like that on my cell phone, but it was water. It would start flowing in pipes, and you had to move the pipes around in order to get the water to flow to the outlet.
It's kind of like the hacking in BioShock.
Yeah, then that's definitely not a bit of you.
No.
I kind of like, and I've got absolutely nothing to back this up, but I seem to recall, now this is almost certainly a British thing, and if anyone as old as me can remember this, there used to be a thing, and I can't remember what show it was on, but you could call up, and basically what you had to do, it was kind of the same. You were guiding someone. I don't think you had to move tiles around, but you basically were shouting down the phone like forward, forward, left, left, right, 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 and you had to get as many of these, I don't know if they were apples or what have you, in order to win a prize. It was like on some kids show or something. I can't for the life of me. I've only just thought of that. And if anyone can think of what it is, any of our here we are, our British listener base that we know we've got now, let me know.
Is it Double Dare?
Oh, I don't know. Do you know what? You could say anything, I wouldn't know. That's a problem. Double Dare.
Double Dare was a British game show that aired from 1987 to 1992. It was a British version of the Nickelodeon game show Double Dare, which ran from 1986 to 93 and was revived in 2000 and 2018.
Oh shit! You know what? That does look familiar. It might be. Fuck.
Oh, I ain't British,
Double
but
Dare was awesome.
crikey, and I'm going Australian again.
Well, I'm gonna have to look into that and see if that was in fact. Because if you've done that, you've just taken a splinter out of my brain.
Well, cool. Happy to oblige. Speaking of Splinter, which translates us into characters on shows, any favorite character from the show?
That was a great segue, bro.
Oh, wait a second. Memory unlocked. I think you might be referring to Arcade.
Well, there's
That's
Arcade
an older
Top.
show.
Are you talking Arcade Top 10?
No. Not Arcade Top 10. There was a show called Arcade, and it was like a kid on a screen, and then they'd have to like navigate them through like a life-size video game or whatever. It was.
Oh no, we had something like that, and we called it Nightmare. The kid had like a helmet. He had like a helmet on.
Yeah.
Couldn't see where he was going. Yeah, that was something. Fuck, that was
Is
awesome
that different?
as well.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Derailed.
No.
Okay. What was your question, Brian? I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, based on Tiny Toon Adventures, the thing we're talking about, anybody have a favorite character from the show? Any character you just thought was, I don't know, as a kid you just instinctively hated? I mean, Montana Max obviously was designed to be hated.
Yeah, that guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I know. I kind of
Elmira
like
too.
Yeah. Oh, fuck that.
But
I'm
I
just
like
trying to
how
think, what
all
was
of them
the-
were just baby versions of the quote unquote adult like Looney Tunes characters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
and
like-
I think for that reason, probably Plucky Duck, because I really, really like Daffy Duck, and I think that just translated over. Like, Daffy Duck's one of my favourite Looney Tune characters because he's just a beast.
See, I liked
think,
Arnold the Pitbull.
yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
You don't remember? Well, he was the big dog that you fought in the first level. The big white dog that's all muscles.
Oh yeah, okay.
He had the Arnold Schwarzenegger accent.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I remember.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's a minor character.
And like so many core memories are being unlocked today.
I know. I mean, talk about Retrotopia. I mean, Fuck. Nostalgia out the arse.
But no, I know what you said, Sam. It's a minor character, but I mean, when he showed up, I always loved the Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do it a lot when I was a kid, albeit very terribly. But everybody always would try the Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I always
Oh,
loved when that
everyone
guy
did
came
that.
on.
Yeah.
I think my favorite
Oh,
is Dizzy. I like
Ah,
Taz. So
yeah.
so there's Dizzy, and then also I saw little. I like Little Beeper because I like the name. That's like the little Roadrunner stand-in is Little Beeper.
um, I didn't like Hampton J. Pig. I'll be honest, the guy annoyed me,
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
and it's
Definitely.
just because Porky Pig is not a little bitch, but Hampton J. Pig is. And I'm
yeah. They definitely
obviously,
tried to infuse them with more personality than their Looney Tunes counterparts.
yeah, and it's just that he's basically not Bugs, but Buster Bunny's like sidekick who's always nervous. From what I
Mm-hmm.
remember of him, he might have been not, but I just remember him just being such kind of like a boring character, the this everyday straight man character, and it just I don't know. He was far enough removed from Porky Pig. I just didn't like him. I don't know. I'm not going to get into
Yeah.
it. It's more subjective than factual.
Sure. But you know what's like really fucking good about this game is that they just crammed so many of these characters into it.
Yeah,
So they could have just had like Buster and Babs and just called it a day, but like they really went out to like use as much of this license as they could and just get as many familiar faces into it as as they possibly could squeeze in. And I think
yeah,
that's
Oh,
to their credit.
I'm scrolling
yeah.
through
Even
some
if it's
pic. I'm scrolling through
yeah,
some pictures. Sorry to cut you off, Sam.
that's all
Um,
right.
the one enemy that freaks me out is those coyotes that have the eyes that burn into your soul on the western level, and they just march in unison. Um, I don't know why they freak me out, but it's those goddamn yellow eyes that just stare at you unblinking, and they just walk with their arms swinging as they march and march, and it's just like, dude, like I don't have a soul. I'm already a ginger. You can't take it.
You can't take what's not there.
There we are. We've just lost all of our red-headed listeners.
What are you talking about? We already communicate through the freckles.
Oh wow. Oh, I didn't know that. We're through the looking glass, people.
At least I'm one of
Yeah.
those ones that isn't, burnt by the sun in under a half a second. I take the full second like a man.
Yeah. You decide to pick a fight with the fucking sun. Good luck to you, buddy. But yeah, brilliant cast of characters. All very well represented. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
Yeah, I like how
and
they even take them and just like kind of stick them in. It's amazing how they would have to, like render the drawing into like a pixel animation, even if it's like they go through all that effort just for like a little cameo. Like I think Little
mm,
Beep or Little Beeper or whatever is just in a split second of the game that tells you to dash and jump, and like the little like that dopey looking like little buzzard or vulture character or whatever like catches you in the sky level and flies you up. It's like they're only there for like 2 seconds, but they put forth the effort to
yeah.
actually render them in the pixel animation.
there is
Yeah. And
16 different pixel characters of Buster for him just to start moving forward.
That's crazy.
wow.
Like the level of detail is pretty impressive, I'd say. Like they could have just crapped out a shitty game, and this is not a shitty game. I think they could have crapped out something, that didn't look good or didn't play as well, and probably still would have sold or made money off of it. But I guess they chose to put some effort into this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like it I always appreciate when like developers get hold of a license like this and rather than just shit out something they just actually like okay well look people love this stuff so let's give it its due, let's give it its respect and
Well,
just like give people something that they're going to enjoy.
at the end
Like
of the day, it's about pumping out a product while the TV or movie is hot, or like the show or the movie is hot. So the fact that we do occasionally get the good game is just pure pure luck, I almost say. Like, not to take away from
Well,
the developers. I'm not going to shit on the developers. Obviously, they had the skills to pay the bills here. But
yeah. Well, it's Konami. You know,
with
Konami no platformers.
yeah, and with how much garbage we get based on licensed material, it's nice to see that a game, like you said, hit the marks of pleasing the fandom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's playable.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
playable.
All right.
I'd say, yeah. Go on.
I'm just gonna say
Go.
we should wrap this up soon. We've been kind of waning and waxing for a little bit here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
an
we've
hour.
talked for
Yeah,
longer than it takes to beat the game.
Yeah, we've
Now we threw
out-talked the game.
Yeah, we threw in
Yep.
some shows in there as well, and went off topic a few times, and then we looked up Rule 34 stuff. So you know what?
Oh, we're
if
going
you
back
boys,
to that.
Yeah, if you boys
Oh,
don't
great.
mind, I'm gonna take the first crack at it this week to sum it up.
Shoot.
All right. I'm gonna say whoever decided to make me play this game, you are not a bad person. So one of you two gets to be my hero. The other one, you're also my hero. But as much as I didn't like the kick mechanic of the game, it honestly didn't take away much of it. Sam nailed it when he said it's a very repetitive formula where dying just means you have to go back and kind of learn what you died on and skip it, and then it becomes almost muscle memory to do so. Overall, music was great. The graphics are fantastic. The gameplay is fun for the most part. Bosses are challenging, but not crushingly challenging. So I'm going to do a really short summary because I don't really have anything too negative to say, but I'm going to give this game a good solid 8 out of 10.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
that is
Very nice.
That is a very favorable score.
Yeah.
Yeah, who
Yeah,
wants to go
I agree.
next?
I guess I could. I mean, I didn't. I spent some time with it this week. I didn't finish it, but then again, I didn't ever play it before, so I'm coming into this kind of completely cold. I agree that the kick is a little funky, but like we said, you are basically invincible while the animation is occurring, which is great. And if you do, you can kind of time it, I guess, or you kind of get the timing down. It becomes a pretty effective little attack. And you can also, I don't think we mentioned this, but you can, like, the dashing counts as an attack where you can just like run through enemies too. And that was pretty cool. Yeah, all told, this is definitely a competent licensed game, and I will say that. Graphics are great. I guess I didn't have as much experience with the music because I turned it down, but the music was fine. The gameplay was good. It wasn't overly challenging to the point where like a couple of different, like a couple of tries or coming back to it another day wouldn't benefit you. There's passcodes if you want to advance to a different level and work on just a particular level, so that's useful as well. Honestly, if I had a Super Nintendo, and maybe I'll pick one up at some point in collecting, if I were to see this game, I would strongly consider picking it up as as part of a collection. So it's not a bad game. I'm not gonna go 8. I'm gonna give it like a 6.5. It's fine. It's not bad, but it's also just kind of a fine licensed game.
Fair
Cool.
enough.
And that's all I got.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna come in hot with the nostalgia bump right now because this game is a cartoon, so very, very well done. I mean, if you were watching this back in the day and you found out that there was a Tiny Toon Adventures game, you were not going to be disappointed by what you saw when you fired this one up. I mean, it looks like the cartoon, it sounds like the cartoon. It's obviously had a lot of love and care and attention and variety put in there. I mean, between the mini games that, they could have just had one bonus game, but no, there's a good selection of mini games. There's a good selection of levels. I mean, I know I don't necessarily get on with all of them, but I appreciate that they tried to mix up a bit of variation in there. I mean, I know most of our game chat here has been sort of like going off topic, and that's because this is a pretty short game. So, like most short games back in the 90s, it had to be a little bit tough just so you felt like you got your money's worth. And I think it is tough, but it is fair. and probably a lot fairer than some other Konami games at the time. So, with your practice, with your repetition, you can learn when things are about to fuck you, and learn to get out of the way of them. Which, it's just, it rewards your patience with it. And I love all of the little nods to other films and things like that, the Star Wars, the Back to the Future, both things that are very near and dear to my heart. So always nice to see those get the nod. I think it's just a very competent, fun little platformer. Just a good way to waste an hour or two. So I think I'm gonna go a little bit higher than Brian. I think I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Ooh.
Purely because when I replayed this, I had the fervent hope that it was going to be as good as I remembered. And you know what? It did not disappoint. I was just like, no, this is held up incredibly well. And I'm having just as much fun now as I did back then. So that's worth an extra half a point for me.
Well, there you
Yeah,
go.
I'd say that's excellent.
There you go.
Had to show me up, didn't you? All right. Oh, God.
Absolutely.
I have to say that the inclusion of like referential just jokes or bits in this game is just lends an air of authenticity to the game, as a licensed product, because that's exactly what they would do in all the episodes of the show is reference stuff, and for them to do that even in the game is just, it's perfect. Chef's kiss. That's all I have to say.
Lovely.
Perfect. All right. So that concludes another episode of Retrotopia, and it's a little bit shorter this time because, like Alan said, it is a short game. But if you want to join in on the conversation, you can, because we have a Discord. You can find the link to it at linktree/Retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia. Or you can join our Patreon for free, and you can comment on the shows and submit comments to the host, as well as a multitude of other stuff you've already heard about. Thank you for listening. Who wants to send us away today?
Sam, you want me to take it? Or
Oh yeah, please do.
I'll take it. Guys, thank you very much for listening. And remember, if you have to bust, always bust loose.